My grandpa was a very wealthy man. He made a fortune by establishing a movie theater business across America. He grew a small business into $1 million business enterprise. So we can say that he went from rags to riches. Money doesn't grow in on trees was his favorite saying, and he earned his millions by himself. He didn't win the lottery or he didn't get the inheritance. Uh, though he knew how it was like to live from paycheck to paycheck, he there was a time when he was so broke that he cannot even afford to pay bus fare. Um, Probably that is why he was such a reasonable spender. He didn't throw his money down the drain. He preferred to make investments. He didn't buy luxury cars or boats. He preferred to put his savings into a bank account. Um, Besides, why I'm also proud of my grandpa. Um, he he has always been a very honest man. He always paid taxes and he refused to give bribes. Besides, he's a very generous person. I mean, he donated a considerable amount of money to build schools, and usually he did it in a very poor districts. He didn't go to college, but he strongly believes that education. Um, he strongly believes in education. He also promoted. He also supported the um, programs for immigrants who decided to launch their startups. Actually, my grandpa also was an immigrant. 60 years ago, he came to the United States from El Salvador, and as he was poor as a church mouse, he borrowed money from his family back home, and they lent him as much money as they could. So he went to US, and as the cost of living was much greater than in USA than in his home country, he had to do a lot of jobs. Um, so he lived on a very tight budget, and he took every single chance to to earn money, and he tries to make ends meet. Um, he he perfectly understood that he had to pay off all his debts. That's why he worked so hard. This was very very hard times for him, and I guess that is why he always tips waiters, barbers, cleaners, because he did all of these jobs, and he strongly believes that no matter what you do, you have to, and what you are, you people should respect you. So when he ended up with all his debts, he started to save money, and he deposit money into his bank account. Well, mm, that time he met his future wife, um, who is my grandma now. Um, he he couldn't approach her, and that's why he applied for the same cinema where she used to work. So that's how he could be closer to her. He fell in love with the cinema, and my grandma fell in love with him. He bought her an incredibly expensive diamond ring that cost him arg and leg, proposed her, so they got married. Um, well, he studied with a movie projectionist, and finally he became not only cinema manager, but ran he used to run the entire building, the entire theater. And when he earned a lot of money, sufficient amount of money, what he did, he um, quit his job. And at that time, he was receiving some money from his bank accounts, from his investments, and he always said that money makes money. And by the late 1980s, he was able to quit his job, and he started his own business, taking $50,000 from his account. Um, as he said, he was keeping them for a rainy day. Well, um, he started with cinema, but the first his venture failed, and he was broke and bankrupt. That was a really hard time for him, but he didn't give up. He went to entrepreneurs course, and next year came back with a plan B, with a really good business plan, with a proper plan which worked. And now what we can see, he's got he after that, what we could see, his chain of movie theaters um, grew into his chain grew in 34 states. There were 60 locations. And of course, first, he was looking for sponsorship. They helped him a lot. When my grandpa was 80 years old, he was retired and started to travel all over the world, because he said that he had achieved absolutely everything that he has ever dreamed of. So, a couple years ago, he died, and our family inherited his business, and now it's my time to take the lead.